Let's talk about this last episode of Love After Lockup, starting off with Rich and Felicia. So, Rich and Felicia's family went to go pick up Felicia from her release. She gets out, and her family went running up to her to embrace her. And Rich said he was just going to take a step back and let her family enjoy her for a few minutes before he decided to go up and hug her and get his hellos with her, which I thought that was a sweet gesture of him. Yeah, they've been talking for a while now, but she's known her family for longer, and I think a lot of these people, sometimes they'll be a little selfish and kind of be like, oh, I want the first hug. But it was nice to see that Rich wasn't like that. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna have all night with her so they can have these few minutes with her. Then we got to meet Felicia's parents, and apparently her dad went to prison, and he did years in the pen. And apparently right before he got out of prison, Felicia got locked up, so he had waited all these years to finally see his daughter. He thought he was going to get out and see his daughter. Then his daughter gets locked up, and she ends up doing all these years in prison. So it was very emotional for them to finally see each other after all this time. And her dad was defending her. He's like, look, she got in trouble when she was 17. It was the first time she's ever been in trouble before, and they laid it on thick with her. They ended up giving her all these years in prison, and they're trying to make it sound like she's almost like innocent or like she barely did anything. And I understand she's young, but at the same time, you're literally robbing somebody, and that's not something to play around with. Plus, Felicia had been acting out for years in her child care because she was in and out of foster care, and she would get with these foster families, and she would act out, and she would run away. I covered this in one of my first videos covering Felicia, the few different times that they had to make announcements looking for Felicia because she had run away from foster homes and she was constantly breaking the rules. So honestly, I kind of feel like going to prison was a lifesaver for Felicia because she probably would be dead or strung out if it wasn't for her going to prison. And she ends up getting out, and her and Rich and her family decided to go to this Italian restaurant. So they go to this restaurant, they're all sitting down, and they start talking and asking Rich some questions. And they're like, yeah, so what do you do for a living? And everything that he was telling the family was so vague. He's like, oh, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, there's no clear answer. And for me, that would be a giant red flag. And another thing, why didn't Rich bring this girl any flowers? You didn't bring a sign or anything. Like, I understand maybe not bringing a sign, but at least bring the girl some damn flowers or something, or an outfit to change into. He didn't bring nothing, and he's just talking about, oh, my presence is the present. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, if you keep acting like this, she's gonna go find someone to replace you real quick. He's cheap. He didn't want to put no money on her books because he didn't want to get used, and I'm shocked that Felicia stuck around for so long without him sending her money to live off of, especially with the fact that she's used to having sugar daddies who spoil her. And I mean, come on, Rich, you went and found a girl who's never like been an actual adult before. She's never worked a job. She's never drove a car. So you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to kind of help the girl with some things, like maybe get her a little fresh out of prison starter pack or something, or at least some freaking flowers. I just couldn't believe that he had nothing and just showed up empty-handed. I thought she was about to go all like Larissa on him from 90 Day Fiance when Colt picked up Larissa from the airport and she kept saying, where's my flowers? Where's my flowers? I thought that's how she was going to be. And I'm sure when they went out to dinner, he probably didn't pay for her dinner either. Her family probably paid for that shit. But anyways, they ended up going out to eat. And when they're sitting to eat, her family and his friend are sitting there asking Rich questions. And that's another thing. Rich didn't show up with nothing but his damn friend to her release. I would have been hated. But they're asking Rich some questions. And his friend ended up asking him a question, and it came out that Rich is married. And Felicia had no idea that Rich is married. She's like, what? Married? And he said, yeah, I was married, and I had to wait till we were split before I started talking to you. So now Felicia's all thrown off because she feels like he's been lying to her all this time. So she went to the bathroom, and her cousin came up to her, and she's like, don't you think that's a little crazy that he's keeping this from me? And the cousin was like, yeah, there's something off about Rich. I definitely feel like it's crazy that Felicia had no idea that he's been married before, because, I mean, you've been talking all this time. You've had nothing but time to talk. and you think the least you could have done is at least say that you're married or have been married before. And I don't think that Felicia would have made a big deal about it. I mean, the girl's in prison. She's doing all this time in prison, so she's not no perfect angel either. As long as you're not still in an active marriage, I don't think she would care. But the fact that you've been hiding this, I think her and her family feel thrown off, because now they're sitting here wondering, what else are you hiding? And the family's sus when it comes to Rich, and they admitted, look, Rich is a nice guy. He's been nothing but courteous to us, but he's being real quiet. Even Felicia was kind of trying to get him to talk. She's like, is there anything you want to ask my family? Is there anything you want to say? And he just shrugs his shoulders. I think it could be one of multiple things. I think Rich is realizing, one, either he messed up and he slipped up and accidentally said he was married in front of her family, and now he's kicking himself in the foot for doing that. So now he's like, okay, let me just be quiet so I don't accidentally slip up and say something that I don't need to say. So he'd rather just not say anything at all. Or two, I think either Rich smoked way too much weed before he went to that meeting, because that's one thing I think about Rich. I think he smokes too much weed and then he gets too quiet and awkward and doesn't know what to say. I think there's a good chance that may be it, because I have a few friends like that, and then there's this YouTuber that I watch that live streams that's like that. At any time before they do a live stream, and if they smoke way too much weed before, people can tell, and people will be calling them out in the comments like, come on, you shouldn't have smoked before, because they'll be so quiet, they won't say anything. But then when they don't smoke, their mind will be all sharp and they'll be on their A game and be talking and everything like that. And I think that's kind of how Rich is. I think he smokes himself into silence sometimes, and it's just in his own little world and doesn't know what to say. And then when he does get around people, he's just kind of a recluse. But that's pretty much it, guys, for Felicia and Rich. Felicia did share on Instagram that she enrolled to university, so she's currently taking classes in college, which is good for her. I love to see that for her, that she's trying to make something better of her future, because you see a lot of these inmates get out and get on this show and they just put all their eggs in one basket, thinking they're about to be these reality TV shows and that's all they focus on. And then once the show's gone, they have nothing left to show for it. But I'm glad that she's working on bettering her future. I'm curious what she's trying to get a degree in, but I'd love to see that she's trying to make something of herself. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.